Hi everyone, welcome back to Newegg TV. My name is Paul, and today we're going to be giving you guys a product tour of this flat screen HDTV from LG. This is the 47LW5600. It is an LED edge-lit television. So just to start off with a rundown of some of the product highlights, this is a 3D display. It features LG's passive Cinema 3D technology. It has also Smart TV, which is an internet TV function, which we'll show you guys a little bit later on. It has a Magic Motion remote control, which you can wave around and point at the television to point and click on things. It works very well with the Smart TV. It is an LED edge-lit television, as mentioned, featuring LG's LED Plus technology. And finally, this has a 120 Hz refresh rate, which gives you a really crisp picture, especially watching fast-moving things like action movies or sporting events. And of course, 120 Hz is required if you want 3D playback. All right, folks, we have the TV unpacked and assembled. There's a two-piece stand that we've mounted it to right there. Let's take a quick moment to go over the included accessories. I got a couple discs here. This is simply some PDF versions of the user's manual. This is Nero Media Home 4 Essentials, some software that you can load onto your computer, compatible with Windows XP, Vista Server 2003, and Windows 7. So some nice software they've included there. Here we have some registration information. Make sure to register your television with LG. And here we have a nice chamois wipe cloth to keep your TV nice and shiny, remove those nasty fingerprints that can get on there. And then we have a full owner's manual here. Quick run through that. And what is this? Child safety warning and LG warranty information. Next up is our USB wireless dongle. It plugs into the USB ports on the side of the TV, which we'll show you in just a second. Next up is a cable tie. You just mount that to the back of the TV. You can use it to keep your cables nice and tidy. These are two extension dongles, again, that also mount to the side of the television. This is a simple component cable, so you have your red, green, and blue plugs there for a component. And this is a standard composite connector with red and white for audio and yellow for video. Next up, we have two remote controls. This is the Magic Motion remote control that you can use to point at the TV. It gives you a little cursor on screen. It's got simple remote functions like power, home button, enter key with the directional pad, volume, channel, and mute. So you can use that for most television needs. And they have included a user manual just for that remote, a couple AA batteries, and a wrist tether to keep it, make sure you don't drop that while you're using it. Next up, we have the full remote for the television. Again, they've included some AAA batteries to power this one. And as you can see, this remote does light up, so it has illuminated keys up on the top here. You have an energy saving button, AV mode, input TV, number pad, channel and volume right there, favorites, premium, home button, quick menu. Again, the enter button with the directional pad. Back down here, some more favorite buttons, and then your standard controls for play, pause, fast forward, rewind. And finally, since this is a 3D television, we have LG 3D glasses. These are passive glasses. They do not require a cable or charging or anything like that. And according to the packaging here, it looks like each of these contains two glasses. And just to be absolutely sure, I'm going to go ahead and open them up. And yes. So you get 4 pairs of glasses total. So for your family's viewing pleasure, up to 4 people can view 3D television. Each one comes with a nice little protective pouch to keep it clean there. Each one also comes with a wipe cloth to wipe off the glasses. And I guess I might as well try them on. Oh wow, you guys are 3D now. But real quick, let's go over the surface mounted controls down here on the bottom right of the television. These are touch sensitive. You have channel, volume, enter, home, and input. Next up, let's take a look at the plugs and inputs and outputs on the back of the television. We have our power cable over there, of course. Right here in rear-facing controls, this is a service controller plug, which you probably won't use. We have a component in, the green, blue, and red plugs for video, and then audio right there. We also have an AV in, composite RCA plug right there for video input, as well as left and right audio. The rest of the connectors, inputs, and outputs on this television are all flush mounted to the back of the television, which allows you to mount this to a wall and keep everything really tight and wired in here to have as little space between the wall and the TV as possible. So right here along the side edge, we have 2 USB inputs, and you will be using one of those for your wireless USB adapter if you're going to go with a wireless, and then we have no less than 4 HDMI inputs there along the side. And finally, we have our downward-facing connectors here. Again, there's a recessed area, so you can route the cables along if you're going to mount this TV to a wall. Starting over here on the left, we have a wired internet connection. So if you want to go with a wired connection, you simply route an Ethernet cable from that over to your home router. Next to that, we have an RGB input. This is standard analog input for connecting a PC. Next to that is an audio input that you can use in coordination with the video input there. Here is actually an optical digital audio output. That's a Toslink connection, so you can output the audio from the television to a high-definition audio receiver. And next to that, we have an antenna cable input, so you can use the TV's built-in TV tuner. And then finally, next to that, we have our AV inputs and component inputs, and those work with these two dongle cables here. If you're going to use the composite connector here, you'll simply use one plug for video and these 2 plugs for audio, but that will not be a high-definition connection. If you want to go with the component connectors and get an HD image, then you will use the RGB plugs here, red, green, and blue, I should say, and in tandem with the 2 audio connectors from the composite plug. Finally, on the right side here, we have a headphone jack. All right, guys, now let's take a look at some of the smart TV features. Here we have accessed, I'm actually just using this Magic remote, the Magic Motion remote control right now. You can see it puts a pointer on the screen so you can move it around to select things. Right now we're just viewing an over-the-air HD broadcast, but you can access some of the higher level functions of the TV here, such as input select, setup, and setting your channel favorites. Moving over here, we can see some of the actual smart TV features. So here are premium channels that you can access, and by clicking on this little button right there, you can actually go on here to add or remove different premium cards to that quick select function right there. If you wanted to try something out, such as YouTube, you just click on it, it will pop up. There's different features depending on the smart TV app that you're using. You'll have different features that you can access. So this will just go in and immediately start playing a YouTube feed. But if you want to, you can use the search function, or you can navigate around YouTube to find videos that you want to watch. It just takes a few moments to load up, and then it starts playing your trailer. And it's nice full screen. It looks really good. There's a little Minecraft preview. Next up, we're going to head back over to the menu. You can see LG has apps that are available for their smart TVs. And by clicking this, you can view the available apps. It'll bring us over to the little app store screen, so you can actually go through here to select apps that you might be interested in. If you've selected those apps, you can actually add them to the quick feature down here. So this little bar down here is a shortcut, and you can see My Apps. It has a search up here by default, and then these other items that we'll show you. Once you've downloaded an app, such as this one, you can actually just drag and drop. So if you have an app that you don't want to have on there anymore, you simply drag it down there, and you can take one that you've added and put it back up in that slot. And then that will update the little shortcut feature that you have from the home page. Also, to delete apps, you simply grab them and drag them down here to the little delete box. Let's go back to the home page. Next up here, let's take a look at a few more of the functions down here. Here's just an example of a podcast app. This is the H&M Fashion app. But basically, once you load up one of these, it's going to access that podcast. It will allow you to view videos and stream them directly from the internet. They'll have, for example, a little right up here on the video, and then by selecting the video itself, you can pull it up here. It will start to play. You can set it to full screen if you want to watch that. Apart from the individual apps for actually viewing video, you can also play games. So here's an example of a game here. We have some Sudoku that will pop up here. It's got a nice little friendly interface. And I'm not actually going to play Sudoku right now, but just to show you guys an example of how that works. And then finally here we have a couple other more advanced functions. There is a web browser built in, which is very handy. You can pop up any web page here, just punch in the URL and it will pull it up. It has some nice features such as storing favorites that makes it much more convenient to get to certain things. So here you can see we've added Google and Newegg to our favorites. You just click on the web page, it will pull it up. There is a quick menu function down here that you can use. Again, the speed of the loading of the page is going to depend on your internet connection, but you have certain functions down here, like you can add to your favorites, you can zoom in and zoom out, you can go back to the home page if you want to, And you can also view your history, or you can punch in a URL directly by going here. And if you're wondering how that works, you simply select the text box there, and it gives you a nice little keyboard here, which is pretty easy to actually type in stuff using the Magic Remote. So let's go ahead and head back to our home page and see if there's anything else to mention. So we have the LG apps, we have the premium apps here. Netflix is great to have. There's a Vudu streaming stuff as well. LG is continually updating the software to add more features, add more apps. Again, you have some social functions like Facebook and Twitter here. And then finally, you also have Media Link, which will allow you to set up using a home PC, and you can actually set up a media server. So right now we don't have this set up, but basically you use the Plex software, you install it on your PC, and then you can set this up. As long as you have the TV plugged into the same router as your PC, you can set that up to stream stored media directly from your computer to the TV. No additional computer or streaming device necessary. And that pretty much wraps up for our overview. This is the Smart TV function of the LG television. And it really adds a lot of functionality to the TV, just a lot more stuff that you can access with an internet connection and the TV than you would by just having the standard over-the-air broadcasts. Now, the last piece of technology that's built into this television that we can't really demonstrate for you is Cinema 3D, which is LG's passive 3D technology. Not only does it provide a much wider viewing angle, but it uses passive 3D glasses. These don't need to be plugged in to charge or anything like that like the active shutter glasses do. Also, the glasses themselves are much less expensive if you want to purchase additional ones, so you can have more family members or friends view your 3D entertainment on the television. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for our unboxing and product tour. This has been the LG 47LW5600. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe to our Newegg YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. My name's Paul, and we'll see you next time on Newegg TV.